Okay, so and now I wanted to talk about like limiting ourselves. And yesterday I had heard this woman, and she had talked about, she was saying that, oh, was she talking about manifestation? Or was she talking about, oh, because she was talking about that she liked to try and stay present and in the moment and tried not to go too far ahead, because she said she had a bad habit of doing that always. And anyways, when she was saying that, I was just thinking about that, when you go too far ahead, like if you're not staying present in the moment, appreciating whatever that moment is, even if it's a moment of crisis, it's going to pass, and it's a moment that's going to it's going to impact your life in a lot of ways. So, appreciating every one of those moments is important, and staying present in the moment. And that's why, you also have to stay in balance, and you can't be like, every time you have a crisis, you run and, get a fifth of bourbon or something like that. You have to go through some problems. You can't just use some crutch, because you can't be dependent on, just like what I was saying earlier, you can't be dependent on another person in that kind of way that they're going to save you. And just like you can't be with, some kind of substance or anything you can abuse. I mean, I've used work and money and shopping and stuff. So, there can be anything. But anyways, so if you are living present in the moment, then you're not stressing out. Don't start. Stop. Stop. They just like to do it just to start each other up. I swear to God. Stop. Anyways, so what I was saying is that if you are so distracted, so hard, like, I could say with a brain injury, I feel like I'm constantly saying that. I'm not trying to say it as an excuse. I'm just trying to, I don't know, say, some things that seem simple to other people is, it's hard for me. Anyways, so what I was trying to say about the limiting and staying present in the moment. So when you're staying present in the moment, then you are experiencing what you're going through. And, I've talked about it before, like when somebody dies, that's the thing that bothers people, is like, I didn't give them enough time. I should have been more present. Oh, that time they were talking to me and I was not listening, and stuff like that. It all has to do with those things. It's never like, oh man, I should have bought that better TV for him when he had that birthday party, or, it's not that kind of stuff. The things that bother people are, I wish I wouldn't have snapped at them. I wish I wouldn't have ignored them and stuff like that. And so staying present and in the moment, it helps you to, leave every moment and feel like you gave it your all. That's one of the things with the social media and people just, out of restaurants, not talking to each other, just talking to other people who don't have time for them to come spend time with them. But they'll sit there and talk to them on the phone. It's so bizarre what has happened. But anyways, staying present is really important. But one of the things too that I was thinking about is because, when you're like thinking about what the future holds or whatever, you have to go so broad. Because if you think, oh, this is going to happen or that's going to happen, and you set that limitation, then you're limiting yourself. You're limiting of what you can accomplish and what you are capable of doing, because you've already set that limitation. And, when we set goals and stuff like that, I think that we have to be a lot more broad, a lot easier on ourselves. When we set our intentions, we need to not get too specific. We need to just be grateful for the things that we want more of, and, ignore the things that we don't like. And, and I talked about that yesterday. Like, some people can't ignore a minute and a half. They're just focused on misery and what bothers me and what makes me unhappy. And if you're going to do that, you're going to always be unhappy, because that's all you're looking at is things that make you unhappy. That's the part of the taking responsibility for yourself, and to recognize that it's all coming from within you. The stuff is not happening outside of you. You're choosing what you look at. You're choosing what you focus on. And so when you're thinking about your future self, your future stuff, like, I would have never in a million years gone like, oh, I bet you, yeah, 2021, when you're 59, you're going to just probably start a YouTube channel. You never ever would think that. And so that's why, if I was going to set my goals, I wouldn't want to be like, oh, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do that. It's got to be like, I'm going to get my voice out there. I'm going to, be recognized and be public and stuff like that. Something, where it's more broad. And then, if you want money to be coming and stuff, always be grateful. Don't focus on what you don't have, because you'll just get more of that. That's how energy works. You have to focus on what you want, but not in lack of gratitude. Like, you want more money, just love money. Just every time anybody's spending money, just love money every way possible, and get excited about it. Make your list of what you're going to buy with all your money, whatever. That's how you have to, I think, there's a lot of different approaches, a lot of different people's opinions. So, this is just my humble opinion about what goes on in my life. But that's how I look at it. And so when you are, manifesting your future, and you're thinking about what you want to do, you don't want to limit yourself over. You want to just have the best experience, and you want to be open to what can come, because usually what is going to come is much better than what you even could have thought of. So, and that's what I've seen over and over and over and over in my life. And so I say, just don't, when you're thinking about things, and it's just like what I was talking about earlier, just be mindful, because I was telling my daughter earlier, I was thinking about that Brendan Fraser movie, the one where he gets his wishes or something, but each wish has like a flip side to it that he didn't even think about. So he keeps trying to be more, okay, and this and this and this, trying to cover all his bases, but it's impossible. And you just couldn't. And so I was just thinking about that, like when you put it out there, like, oh, I wish this, or I wish that, I wish I would have this, I wish I could get a new car, or whatever, what started it was my throat being so scratchy, and I think coughing, like the smallest little thing, it just sent me up for coughing, and something like that. I think I was coughing, and I said, I got to just start saying, I appreciate that, or something. She's like giving me affirmations to do, and because to just say, I wish I would quit coughing, or quit whatever it is, you don't know what could happen. That could mean like, oh, well, I'm going to get throat cancer. That's what my dad had. So that's, of course, what I think of. And, get parts of my throat cut out. So, yeah, you have to be careful of your wording and stuff when you're manifesting. That's why I said some of this stuff is like a weapon. People don't even realize like how much their intention and how much they're manifesting all the time, especially when people are so focused on negativity. Then, until they start getting a handle on their own powers, their own capabilities and stuff, we're just, I guess we're in for a wild ride. So, anyways, so that's what I was thinking about with the, if you're thinking too much in the future, then you're thinking too much about limitations to your life. So it is another reason to just always stay present. And you don't want to just go over and over in the past. You want to give it its due, think about stuff. If you did something and it affected somebody, think about it, have insight. But most of the things that are your lessons, you will be triggered yourself. You can get feedback. I get feedback all the time. I'll tell you that, all the time. I don't even have to ask for it. Feedback. So, just usually if it's something you need to work on, you'll be triggered. And then you got to go deeper into the trigger. Don't just be like all surface about it. But when someone's giving you feedback, or their perspective or whatever, you can consider it and think about it and everything. If you want to change yourself, then, more power to you. And that's the thing too, is even with the stuff about when I was talking earlier about the relationships and finding balance in yourself so that you don't need somebody else to fix you or whatever. That's another thing too, that is when you can be kind of like partners. Like, I'm not saying like you can't have roles in a family. Like, I'm not one of those people who are like, nobody should have a role in the family. There's a lot of things that I prefer not to do, and there's a lot of things usually that the person you're with prefers not to do. There's nothing wrong with, finding that balance and appreciate the differences in one another. But you also don't want to be a part of yourself missing, and you need somebody to do that for you. You want to be your whole full self, that you could do it for yourself and then have appreciation, because it's not really something I'm like keen on. So I appreciate this person doing this for me, and I do this for them, like, I think that is good. That's how it should work, because once you can find balance in self, that's when you can start moving into balancing with a partner, is how I look at it from what I've gone through. You'll go through some stuff in relationships, but it's going to end up being a lot of lessons, a lot of rocky, hard times. Or you can just really, spend time focused on you. But, that's part of the experience, is to live your life. I was telling my daughter yesterday, and it's real easy when, somebody's going through some stuff that, oh, wait, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And I was like, I can give my opinion. I can tell you what I would do in my situation and how I would do things. But you got to follow your own guidance always. Don't ever, ever do anything that anybody tells you to do. Always go in self and follow your guidance over what you should do in your life. That is vital. That's the most important thing, is, be your own master. And, anyways, so, I wanted to get that thing out there about the roles. Oh, and, but also when you focus on the past, don't let it bring you down. It's like hindsight can be a blessing, but you can't just get hung up on just going over and over an incident and just beating yourself up. You've got to let stuff go. You've got to accept that you're not perfect. You've got to accept that this is a learning experience for you. And whatever you're going through, just take your lessons and try and learn and do the best you can. But don't be hard on yourself if you're not perfect. You're not here to be perfect. Nobody's here to be perfect. No, I mean, if you're perfect, you wouldn't be here. You'd be up in the empty space. The great void. Yeah, that's where perfection is. You don't need anything. So, yeah, just accept your experience and don't get too, even when I'm saying stuff, sometimes I feel like, yeah, maybe I'm saying this and maybe I'm saying that. Maybe the next day I'm saying this, that, because sometimes even when I get some new insights, like, maybe I already had this one. I don't know. Maybe I talked about it already. I don't know. But it's just super important, is that, I'm just sharing my stuff. I'm not trying to tell anybody, how to be them. I'm just sharing how I be me to try and help other people, because it's, it's going to be a bigger struggle here coming up real quick. But I know there's already some people who are just really out there trying to understand what's happening. They're already in it, you know. They already understand that things are falling apart, and they're trying to understand what's going on. So, you know, and that's a lot of healing that's got to go on. So, and it's real easy to get caught up and hold on to some stupid ass thing that you did freaking 10 years ago and beat yourself up over and over and over. And you've got to just let it go and love yourself. Love yourself no matter how stupid you think you are sometimes. And forgive yourself. And then just in every moment, just try and be really present. Try and, if you're around people, try and set your phone down and try and come up with ways to train your brain to stay present in the moment, because it is a training. It's untraining what we've been trained to do. Now you got to untrain it and retrain. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be tiring. It's going to be hard. So get to it. Okay. Well, I just wanted to get that out there too, because I think it is important. Both of those things about finding balance in yourself is vital before you can find balance with another person. And, you know, so if you're struggling in relationships and stuff, you know, I totally 100% say just, you know, go on a sabbatical to yourself. Those self journeys, just like eat, love, pray, you know, or go Stella, get her groove on kind of thing. Go spend time on yourself, get to know yourself, and find yourself and love yourself. Okay, so have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.